Welcome everybody to the final day of the third US Activision Blizzard Media Agency Showdown. My name's Infinity. I'll be joined by our whole shift for all of today's casting. Alan, we're down to our final four teams here in this tournament. And for those of you who are new to the Agency Showdown, this is your first time checking out this wonderful, awesome stream. You guys can see on screen right now the four teams that have made their way to the semi-finals and the championship matchup of this tournament. But essentially what the Agency Showdown is essentially a fun way for everybody to connect and be social from a distance, obviously with everything going on in the world. This is a super fun tournament. Everyone loves playing Call of Duty, and playing it in a tournament setting is always fun.
Absolutely the case, and even more fun today because we have all of those wonderfully custom graphics built for our final four teams. This is the day we were waiting for, not only because it's semis and grand finals, but we do get that extra little bit of flair into the stream. And I have to say, the 789 logo did provide. I was hoping for a little bit of a chunk out of the 9. Very well done. I just love it. It's why I'm here. It's really why I'm here. Just waiting for those logos. It makes all the first few days worth it for sure.
Yeah, the logos are always a highlight of the Agency Showdown. Of course, what else is a highlight is the gameplay. And for today and for every other day of the Agency Showdown, it has been Search and Destroy that we've been playing. Let's very quickly run you through the rules just to show you guys exactly how everything is breaking down. So as I said, all of the games today will be played in Search and Destroy format, and the semi-finals will both be played in a best of 3. The finals, a little bit of a different story. We will be having a best of 5 for that much, and for anybody who is unfamiliar with Search and Destroy, generally it's just a round-based game mode. There's an offense and a defense. The offense has a bomb they need to plant on a bomb site. There are 2 bomb sites of which they can choose from. And if you're in the defense, well, guess what you got to do? You got to defend those bomb sites. And that's essentially Search and Destroy down to a T. So that's what we're playing today, Alan. That's everything on the line. I'm super excited to get into looking at these 4 teams.
And you mentioned a lot of really individually special gameplay. We did have our MVP candidate kind of chosen. Of the 4 players that were chosen from yesterday, voting was open, and we did award the MVP tournament champion to Ben Buckets. He actually has not made it into today, unfortunately, so he will not be able to say he's MVP and tournament winner. But an impressive showcase, not just through the first day, but also the second day for Ben Buckets. It's just a bit unfortunate that his team could not quite get him to this final day of action.
Yeah, I mean, at least fire-breathing rubber duckies won something, right? I mean, that's the
best team
positive
name, for sure.
That's the silver lining. Yeah, they won our hearts as well, Alan. That's for sure. With the team name and the logo that just wasn't to be. The fire-breathing rubber duckies. Ben Buckets, congratulations to him as he walks away with the MVP for this third Agency Showdown. So that's going to be the MVP nomination. Of course, that means the poll is done and dusted, but you guys should still check out the Twitter at Active Blizz Media over there. You should make sure you follow them, because any updates about Activision Blizzard Media or any of these Agency Showdowns can be found over there. And of course, while you're at it, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel here and ring the bell for all the notifications for when this Agency Showdown and any future Agency Showdowns do go live.
Yep, indeed the case. Again, this is the North American one. We had our Europe one at the beginning of the month. And if anything is built to be assumed, figured that there'd be a second one for Cold War near the end of the year, sometime in August or so. That was what it was last time around, about 6 months in between each of them. So yeah, we'll see what kind of happens. Like you mentioned, is best of 3 coming into mix. We will be getting checkmate for map number 1, and it is NYNY playing up against Flicka. And Flicka surprised us yesterday. You know, they came out and we kind of expected that their opponents would have a little bit more favor overall, but Super Hot played very well. Along with that, Thing King 1 and Shetnik Steel played very nicely. But the problem is now they're going up against NYNY, and we've seen all 3 of these players pop off at any given moment in time, specifically Headliner and Bushquail, really largely doing a lot of the lifting for the NYNY team.
Yeah, that's going to be really, for me, I think the storyline coming in this one is going to be Headliner versus Super Hot. They were the players that really did turn up yesterday in their individual one-on-one matches. And, well, already off the start here, we see NYNY getting this bomb down over towards B, inside the plane. It's now a 2 versus 2 as Bushquail and M-Fried got to go up against Thinking 1 and Super Hot. Shetnik Steel, sorry. And he's actually going to fall. So now Super Hot, the player that I highlighted for Flicker. A 1 versus 2. You remember, you got to reserve 7.5 seconds for a defuse. So for Super Hot, not really a lot of time to work with here. They're going to make their way through the plane. Shots coming in from Bushquail. Going to fire some back and actually going to get the kill. Actually, Bushquail kills himself with a Semtex. Super Hot going to jump on this defuse. And M-Fried He's not even going to check this. Super Hot's getting away with this defuse. And what a start from Flicker. Super Hot with a heads-up play to just jump on the defuse.
Required as well. Remember we were talking at the very beginning of the show that once we get to the final day, playing around the objective will not just be a, oh, cool, they did it, but it's going to be a requirement. Because a lot of these squads that are here, they're very quick about getting the bomb planted. You have to be aware of how exactly you want to retake and things of that nature. And that time around, a little bit of blessing from the self-nade that was in the mix, but M-Fried was just a touch too far away to even check in time. So a really nice heads-up play to just jump on and get the defusal. Only 1 kill required overall for Flicka.
Flicker starting this one strong. Remember, folks, this is a single elimination tournament overall, so whoever goes on to win this will, of course, go through. Whoever loses it will be out of the tournament on the whole. Flicker going to play this round relatively reserved, Shift.
Patience was one of the big things that we noticed from them yesterday that largely allowed them to kind of play up against a pretty tough opponent and find favors. So we'll see if that comes through here again. Headliner is watching this. Not gonna lie, he read that beautifully. He's looking at one player on the cross. Lots of damage, but no kills to speak of. That's a regular fragmentation grenade to be tossed out. Not cooked whatsoever. He gets one in response. And again, lots of damage, but no kills. So we stay in a 3v3 with 40 seconds to play.
Flicker still looking to move over towards his A-bomb site. No players have fallen just yet. Finally, Headliner is about to make the move. Coming in from behind, is able to get one. This should surely now shorten up the round by quite a bit. There's only 25 seconds left to actually get the bomb. Thinking one takes out Super Hot, betraying his brethren like that. Forces them to lose the round.
Yeah, I think it's tough when you see M-Fried there for a second on your screen. He is coming around the back. He gets killed almost instantly, but there were team shots that were in the mix, and I think that was simply because Think Penguin was trying to find that kill into M-Fried and unfortunately put his line of sight onto his teammate while simultaneously trying to deal with the pressure from the back. So tough team kills to kind of give us these weird opening rounds, but overall it's 1-1. Headliner on 2 kills from the previous round. Again, looking to pick up where he had left off from not just day 2, but also day 1. He very appropriately is named Headliner because, let's be honest, he was largely stealing the show in both of the instances that NYNY played in their first 2 rounds.
So NYNY now on the offense, looking to assault this B-bomb site. Flicker haven't put a stop to this. NYNY, they might not realize it yet, Alan, but they have essentially full control of this B-bomb site. Now they're going to get this bomb down. Flicker. Now it's a question of how quickly they're going to retake it.
And Bushquill, you see him. He does put that trophy system right on top of the bomb. Again, it makes life just a little bit more difficult to get the defuse because the square button on a controller will default to taking care of the trophy before it comes down to picking up the actual bomb for the defusal as well. Down low. M-Fried for 1. Super Hot for the trade. 1v1. I believe he did see Bushquill in the back, but he's changed his position up just a touch. Super Hot will find the angle, but no shots in the mix, and Bushquill just needs to kill the clock. And, well, the bomb's on the other side. Quick scope attempt, NTNT, but it's NYNY that find the 3rd round.
It's close search and destroy early on here overall, to be honest with you, Shift. Kind of what we expected as we came into this last day. I think actually coming into this day overall, I didn't really know who I would come out on top. You know, if I was to say, which team would I believe to be the best team here out of the 4? I really wouldn't be able to tell you. I think all of them have got their superstar players, and well, I really don't think there's much separating NYNY and Flicker at least at this stage in the search and destroy. 3 rounds in, Flicker now going to be the ones on the offense though. Chet McSteel currently 0-3, looking to find his way into this game. And again, we're seeing kind of this slow passive play coming out from Flicker where they don't really want to assault this plane for some reason.
Yeah, again, you get to lay the land, especially with all of our players running Lawbreaker, where they get 2 weapons, Sniper typically with an SMG or an AR. Why not play a little bit slower, see if you can find that opening pick, and then go? And that's indeed the case. Super Hot does find first blood onto M-Fried. That's going to open up some space over towards A. The last 2 defensive members for NY are inside or around the plane as you're getting a long flank from Headliner. No one's watching this. He's about to come away with a handful of kills unless he can't get past Thinking 1. Finds the first kill. Doesn't even want to go for the second challenge. Changes the angle. He gets behind this play as well. And oh boy, there's number 2. Give him number 3. Market for a top plate. Beautiful triple kill in the mix for Headliner.
See it here for a Headliner, looking for the triple one. Super hot coming around the corner. Here's number 2. And then number 3 straight afterwards as well. Headliner. Great performance there from him in that round. Why? Now starting to work off it.
I'm actually very surprised. I mean, again, I know the voting is probably based on them telling their friends to vote for them. But in my mind, the Headliner has had the best overall tournament so far. He was a candidate for MVP. And I thought overall that he, especially when I think they did play Fire Breathing Rubber Duckies yesterday, he completely pretty much shut down Ben Buckets. So, I mean, in my mind, he's had the best tournament thus far. Super Hot is also one of those players that I think has been very consistent. He saw Bushquill come through yellow container, but is being very patient about taking this challenge. Eventually comes around, Bushquail in a corner, not going to be able to respond to it. Super Hot looking for a 1v3 essentially of his own. Timing is good. He finds himself a triple, and then the defuse is also plenty of time to come through.
And finally, Flicker, I mean, to me, I think what they've been lacking in the last couple of rounds is just that aggression, sort of really the spice, the flavor to actually find their way into the round. This time, though, they're not having any of that. They make that retake relatively quickly, and it comes off the back of a play like this. Super Hot, again, you speak about him being sort of the headline player on this team. And here he is getting a 2-piece that effectively closes out the round for Flicker. But, as we always say with these tournaments, you cannot rely on just one player to carry you through. And, although statistically speaking, that's probably what's happening for both NYNY and Flicker at the moment with the Headliner and Super Hot, there still needs to be a team effort. If either of these rosters can start really working cohesively as a unit, they may well just start to walk away with this game.
I mean, it's largely just been Headliner versus Supa. I mean,
yeah,
we had 3 kills from Headliner in the third round, or fourth round rather, and then Super Hot in the previous 3 of his own. So, I mean, we're seeing against almost exactly the same stat lines between all the other players that are there. 6-3, 6-2 for Headliner and Super Hot respectively. Bushquill able to get involved for his second elimination as he finds Thing King 1 trying to mantle over the top. M-Fried is hit firing all over the place. I mean, he's got a 74U with an optic that I don't even know. Is this a hollow that's on it? Doesn't make a difference. He's just going to go for the hit fire, finds the kill. And that's the big star down for Flicka. So it's just going to come down to Chet McSteel for a 1v2 in 38 seconds to play.
What can Chet McSteel do here? He's picked up his first kill in this round. I believe this would be for the ace. Fortunately for Chet McSteel, their problem in this situation is they've got to go grab that bomb and plant it. I believe NYNY at the very least. Okay, I was going to say they have some idea as to where Chet McSteel is. Now they definitely know. They work off that information and, of course, pick up the round. I mean, maybe they're just a little bit eager to get that kill, but it certainly comes back to bite him.
Yeah, it's a tough situation, and again, it comes down to just some really blessed hip fire, I think, overall from M-Fried. I mean, that's probably not a gunfight that he typically wins versus Super Hot. I mean, if you were to put both of them in a room and tell them to start shooting at each other, you feel like Super Hot would win that battle 9 times out of 10, but M-Fried just gets lucky. I mean, he's got a laser on his SMG. Helps out with the hip fire, never even scopes in, finds the kill. Super Hot was kind of stuck in a terrible position, to be honest, as well, so not great news there. But that kind of round for one exchange that we had early has been broken with that round win from NYNY, now up 2. And Chet McSteel will find first blood here in a Bushquail, but there are a number of NYNY players trying to hit this from the back. Chet deals with a second, really good for him. And now it's just down to 1, and that's also picked up. So nice recollection there from Flicka to keep things tight.
And the thing is, that was great adaptation there from Flicker, actually. I mean, there was some serious aggression coming out here from NYNY. Lovely shots through, and that's a very common wallbang, actually. And for those of you who don't know what a wallbang is, it's essentially shooting through an object or a wall, and you're essentially hitting the shots or even getting the kill. And that was great knowledge there from Chet McSteel to actually go for that opening kill. But what I want to say there is actually NYNY, they came round on a flank. They actively chose to push for those gunfights. And good on Flicker for recognizing that was what was happening and checking those corners. And, well, they're not getting the round off the back of it as Flicker now Only one round down here in the search and destroy. I really would like to see them get a little bit more aggressive on their offenses, though. I think that's really been their biggest problem on the offense so far.
Yeah, good stuff. Everyone really playing well. Again, we love to see this. We talked about it at the very beginning, you know, kind of comparing Europe to what we saw at the end of Modern Warfare from North America. The Europeans came out and there were a lot of good teams of 3, a couple of great individuals, but those individuals did not see the final day. So now you're in a position to where all 3 players are playing convincingly, including mFried, who's got 6 kills. Good for him so far. Just comes down to ThinkKing 1 for a 1v2 and 37 seconds to make it happen. First one comes around the corner. Deals with mFried. The trade, though, immediately there, bushquail was chasing him down.
It's just a story of trades there in that round. If you remove mFried from that power position there, you effectively do open up a lane where maybe you can end up winning that round. Unfortunately, again, it's just not the case. And now NYNY find themselves here, Shift, on map point. Remember, folks, this is a best of 3 here in the semi-finals. So NYNY win this. They go 1-0 up. They only need to win one more search and destroy map to book a place in the grand finals, where they will either face the Kings of It or 789. That match, of course, will be coming up next after this one. For now, though, round number 9, Shift. This could be where it all ends. Flicker, they stood pretty strong on the defense. CheckMcSteel now going for those shots through the wall once again. This time around, though, NYNY, they're not silly. They're not going to go there once more. However, their tentativeness here will mean that they will slowly make their way towards B. And CheckMcSteel, he's having absolutely none of it. Makes his way forward for the first blood against bushquail. ThinkKing 1. Follows up with another one now, mFried, a 1 versus 3. He picks the second kill up, but unfortunately a trade is there. Flicker, they stay alive.
I gotta ask mFried, what's the point of this, like, 2 times hollow optic if you're just gonna be... Okay, there it is. He does pull it up. I was about to say, because this range is, like, at a range, or this gunfight, rather. You thought that it would be at a range that you'd try to ADS, but he just holds down the trigger for hipfire and does find the kill. So now you're in a 5-4 situation, 1 round gap, but you need to win another 2 in a row if you're Flicka.
This is still possible. I will say that much.
Absolutely.
I think they're not a bad squad by any stretch of the imagination. As we can see, by the way, ThinkKing 1 and CheckMcSteel have played the last couple of rounds. They clearly do know their stuff, and they clearly are starting to improve. But unfortunately for CheckMcSteel, he's denied of that opening blood like he has received in the last couple of rounds. Gets taken down, and now bushquail's getting aggressive. He gets this corner super hot. This will be a much harder situation for ThinkKing 1 to pull off. Now a 1 versus 3. Doesn't even get a sniff of it. NYNY come out on top of game number 1, Shift.
Yeah, I'm in a situation where coming into this matchup, just after what we saw for the first 2 days from NYNY, you're putting some... I was putting some pretty heavy favor onto them in this matchup, but once again, I think we get caught underestimating Flicka. There are a number of rounds in there that their top slayers from the first 2 days are no longer alive. Doesn't make a difference. They still find a way to get someone to step up and make a play, and it's a pretty tight first search and destroy. Again, Checkmate is one of those that all the gunfights essentially happen in front of you. It's a 3-lane map, kind of, but from that middle plane, you can see the entirety of the map, essentially. So a lot of those gunfights that happen in the middle are the more important ones. But in the end, I think there's still just a little bit more overall skill from the side of this NYNY squad, and that came up in the very end there. mFried finding a couple of nice picks. That's probably his best map that he's had all tournament so far, and that just makes NYNY that much scarier when Headliner and bushquail don't have to pop off every single time to get them to win. If you get that third member involved, you just become that much more scary.
Yeah, I think the one thing I will say is I don't think NYNY are that far ahead of Flicker at the moment. A lot of it just comes down to situations. Ironically enough, I think a lot of it is just sort of one-on-ones being won, first bloods going the way of NYNY. I will say where Flicker definitely need to improve is getting a little bit more confident on their offenses. You know, if you've got bomb, you are more likely to win a situation where you are the ones being the aggressors in any round. You're more likely to win the round if you are the ones being more aggressive in that situation, especially when you're the ones on the offense. You know, you are there is a very small likelihood of any other team of your opposition pushing you on the defense because they know that you're sat back. I mean, I guess maybe I'm overestimating here the tacticalness of some of these teams. But if you're NYNY there and you're in what I'd say the 4th defensive round, at that point you're kind of like, hang on, Flicker aren't getting very aggressive here. Let's just hold back a little bit and just wait for them to come to us. And then you end up in the stalemate where Flicker, I mean, they take so long waiting for NYNY to come to them that they essentially lose the round off the back of having a rush in the last 30 seconds. So that's what they need to fix, I think, going into this second game. We're going right into it now. It's Miami Search and Destroy Shift. We do love this map. It's so vibrant and colorful and dark at the same time. And we're going to see whether or not New York can thrive in the darkness.
And I'm curious for both these teams when it comes to tempo, because Flicka, we already mentioned that on their offense, they like to stay a little bit more patient. But this map is huge. And sometimes if you can just get to a site sooner rather than later and get a bomb plant, you put the defense in a really terrible spot. Where on the other side, if you let the defense start to rotate around, because let's be honest, it's 3v3, it's not 4v4. The opportunity for someone to sneak through your offensive line if you're playing slowly is actually pretty great, which is what we're trying to see happen there for Chet Steel. But Headliner reads it, he finds the second kill in the round. And it just comes down to Thing King 1, of which, Headliner's seen him up top. Nade will be cooked, tossed his direction, not going to connect, but that grenade noise will back Thing King around. He does get stunned up, but he does have attack mass to keep him safe. Headliner now going to make the challenge, looking for the full ace. He will get it, no problem. NYNY find the first round.
Just one of those situations, right? Headliner comes in from the behind, Thing King 1. Isn't ready for it. And a flawless start from Headliner, once again an ace. Shift NYNY just looking so good off the back of his plays. And, I don't want to say it's all him. Bushquail and Emperor definitely have had their moments in this tournament so far, but Headliner just looks like such a good player overall. He knows how to play the game. That much is absolutely apparent, and he is playing it very well at the moment. Let's see how Flicker deal with him, as this is going to be a Flicker approach over towards B. The problem for Flicker here is there's already NYNY players on the B site. Headliner's actually broken that offensive line, found his way into the area of the map that we call top piano, and that's such a power position to hold.
And this is going to be Flicka trying to maybe rotate Thinking over to try to take that top control. I mean, you had a sniper rifle out towards docks, an AR with an advanced scope out towards docks. Someone's got to push to be the first one to push forward. 40 seconds to go, and Emfried gets a little impatient, starts to cherry pick and see what's going on, and that little bit of over-aggression gets him punished. Bushquail is running around. Thinking seems to hear him, but it might be a little bit too late. Bushquail finds one. Apparently Thinking maybe doesn't have any headphones on because he completely lost track of Bushquail, who gets a second. And now it's down to Superhot versus Headliner. 1v1, not a lot of time to play. And Headliner is going to just go towards the top side of piano. Maybe try to play behind Superhot, who is running out of time. And I think Headliner has seen him. He's starting to chase him down.
This is the 1 versus 1 we were talking about, right? Shift, Superhot versus Headliner. Previously, we were talking about it in a metaphorical situation. This time, we're talking about it in a real one. Superhot with the bomb, has to plant it, doesn't really even have the time. And of course, Headliner, just for good measure, makes sure that he runs away. So that is going to be around there for NYNY. And it's this play from Bushquail that makes all the difference. Picking up those 2 gunfights leaves Superhot in a relatively bad situation. And NYNY now 2-0 up. Shift. They look pretty good off the start of this one. And again, these are best of 3 matches in the semi-finals. So NYNY, they win this. They book their place in the grand final. Thicker, they go home in a metaphorical sense. They're probably already at home in a top 4 placement.
Well, Chet's going to go all the way out towards the lifeguard post. Nothing's going to be that direction because, I mean, typically the more orthodox bomb site that we see being used is the B one, and that will be the case here. Bushkill for first blood. Superhot by himself. Chet needs to start rotating in. He is on the way, but again, he's just so far away from this B site, and he's still trying to play through the beachfront. So he's going to play maybe a long wrap around the backside of this play, and NYNY are going to let him essentially have an opportunity here by how slow they're playing after getting first blood. Unless Headliner sees him here, which he will, that'll be a nice second kill, and now a 3v1 situation. Superhot by himself.
Superhot, can he save the day? 1 versus 3 on the cards. How well can he read those cards? Well, the AK-47 of Superhot is going to take out M-Fried. Now, that's one problem down. 2 more to be dealt with. 20 seconds left for MYY to get this bomb down. That is the advantage that Flicker has, is if he can stop this bomb plant, he might be able to get away with his life. And this could be it. Here's Call of Duty timing on Superhot's side. Not going to jump over the fence just yet. As soon as this bomb goes down, he most certainly will. Bushquell going to go for it. Does Superhot see him? No, he doesn't. And that is unfortunate. That's camera angles right there. We don't actually see the POV of Superhot on this jump over. But essentially what happens is he jumps over. Bushquell is out of his camera view. He doesn't see him. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, it's problems on both sides. Number one, I agreed with your call. Superhot needs to just jump over, check that bomb. He finds a kill. He wins the round. Other side, NYY, what are you waiting for so long? Like, you get 2 kills, like, go and plant the bomb with numbers. That is not something that we've seen from them before. I mean, they waited way too long and nearly got punished for it. It left the door wide open for Superhot to clutch, but I guess the situation did not occur here. So now Flicka trying to get something on the board. They will head over towards a aggressive push to the middle of the map for Headliner and M-Fried. They don't see anything over towards front piano, and I don't think Bushquail has seen anything over towards the beachfront. This is pretty bad timing for him. This comes down to on the second peak, will he see anybody? He sees 1. That's good enough for him to say, all right, I'm just going to back up.
Just back it up. Back it on up, Bushquell. You do not want that smoke. And actually for Flicker, I'm starting to see a little bit what I didn't like. Over on Checkmate, they need to get more aggressive here, honestly. I know it's a very easy thing for me to say, sitting my butt on this chair, casting this game of Call of Duty. For them, it's a very different story, but this is what happens. When you don't get aggressive, you open the door for plays like that. M-Fried decides that he wants to take matters into his own hands. He's going to open up with first blood. Checkmate still going to have to get the hell out of dodge. Sniper rifle play coming out from Superhot, and hey, this is now a manageable situation. Much more so than that as well. It's a situation in favor of Flicker as they win their one-on-one engagements. Headliner now 4-0. Can they make it 6-0? Well, with 5 seconds left, the answer is no. Flicker don't have time to plant this bomb. And guess what, Shift? Guess what? The passiveness again.
Yep. This is what I was worried about at the very beginning. Is you have this situation where you've got a team that likes to play slow and they like to play more methodical and make sure that they're staying safe on their moves towards bomb sites on more tightly close-knit maps. This is the biggest map in all of Cold War. Not just in the competitive rule set. This has got to be the biggest map in Cold War. And if you're going to be waiting until 30 seconds to make a move and you haven't cleared any of the bomb sites yet, you're not going to win rounds. So that is, again, realized and punished. And now Flicka's down 0-4. Not a great spot to be. They're going to try to get aggressive. Oh, my goodness. Thinking just runs to the piers and somehow nobody saw him. Oy.
Oh, dear. Oh, some of the plays, man. Just some of the plays. Hey, Flinking One does something. He gets the kill against Bushquail. We do love to see it. His second of this game is Search and Destroy. And I don't think M-Fried is aware of this. Okay, all right, M-Fried, don't worry about it. No one's behind you. Your teammate didn't definitely just die at the pit. And now Headliner 1 versus 3. Hey, look, if any player can do it, it's absolutely Headliner. But there's 30 seconds or so left on the clock here. It's not really a lot of time to work with, but Headliner does pick up 1. Now you got to get this bomb and haul ass over to one of these sites. Superhot seen him. Ends the round, and Flicker on the board. Shift.
Headliner, I would like to see just ego chow everything. He's got the ability, I think, individually to win up-close gunfights with the 74U. And let's be honest, again, you've got a team in Flicka who is just very passive. And I would just love to see him just hit a route, get aggressive, and just get behind, because these players are, I don't think anyone's playing with headphones, or if they are, they're playing with like Apple iBuds. Like,
yeah, I think the awareness
is not there. The awareness and communication is just not there. You could blow up a play individually, and we saw him almost just do that right there, where he just runs around, finds a kill, nearly gets a second, but the timing was a bit bad. So kind of going back to the last defensive round where NYY had Headliner and M-Fried running up the middle of the map, I just want to kind of see him just do that, see how much he can get away with against this Flicka team, who seems to largely not be able to track where he's at.
Yeah, it's small miscommunications at the moment that I think are really sort of damaging Flickr, and they've still got time to fix it. They're only 4-1 down in the Search and Destroy. Remember, folks, every Search and Destroy map is a best of 11, but there's not really much more room for mistakes from Flickr, and immediately we see one as Czech McSteel is not ready for a potential flank. Nobody gets control of the top piano area of the minimap, and Headliner actually gets a little bit overzealous. The ego play that you were talking about, Shift, comes in. Superhot actually is watching flank this time around, and Headliner is removed from the equation. Hemfried goes as well, and now Bushquell for a 1 versus 2.
Again, time's going to be a problem here. Bushquell's in a corner. I think Thinking has seen him, but not enough. Superhot, is he going to take the challenge? Sure will. And Flicka will steal around steer away rather a second round. 4-2 goes the tally.
I mean, Flickr, they end up winning that round. I gotta say, I'm no nameless, but I think I got a key to victory here for Flickr. I think for them, they need to take out Headliner. I know that sounds really silly, but it feels like when they do, that's the rounds that they do end up winning. It's a very simple thing to say, but it is absolutely what they need to do at the moment. Even then, they are shaky. I don't know if they're really going to fix the other fundamental issues at the moment that they're facing. So just take out Headliner and you're good. Bushquell, with bomb in hand, has the support of his teammates here. Headliner opening up with first blood against Superhot. Czech McSteel has some shots placed into him. Decides to limp away. Thinking one, not in the best position here. Headliner or Bushquell should take him out. There you go. Headliner wins that gunfight. That's what happens when you just essentially waltz around the parking lot with absolutely zero cover. Now Czech McSteel for the 1 versus 3. Has already got one of these kills, Shift, so this is absolutely possible, and may just get some lovely timing here, or maybe not. Czech McSteel coming from behind. He's looking for the first gunfight. Doesn't hit the shots. Bushquell a little bit more accurate.
Yeah, that was the big takeaway from day number 1. Headliner, Bushquell, they shoot straight, which is largely in this competitive environment enough. You get into these gunfights where even if you're caught off guard, if your opponent is shaky, not quite locking down with a good ADS, or obviously, you know, in Chet's case, he was trying to use the hipfire laser to kind of secure some bless RNG on the hipfire. You just win more gunfights than you lose. So 5-2, this is again going to be a best of 3 series. So that does mean that it's going to have to be 4 rounds in a row for Flicka to see a third map if they want to try to get into the grand finals. Otherwise, NYNY will be our first grand finalist.
Can they do it here? NYNY, they've got quite a lot of room for error. 5-2 up in this search and destroy. Flickr. They're going to lose their first player and the second as well. Headliner with a 2-piece. Thinking one now. A 1 versus 3 to keep the hopes and dreams of Flickr alive. Can he pull it off? Absolutely not. Headliner, of course, is the player to close the door on Flickr's run. An ace in round number 8, and they get it. 6-2, 2-0. Bye-bye, Flickr.
Yeah, Headliner's the best player in this tournament. I mean, he's... It's just what it is. He's the best player in this tournament. He shoots straight. He's not really showcasing any advanced movement, but he's still pretty fluid of how he's moving around the map. Seems to understand what's in front of him at all times. Yeah, he's the best player in this tournament. So that's going to be a tough ask, I think, for whoever makes it into the grand finals to play up against them, because Bushquell's also playing well. Even in that first map, Mfried played pretty darn well. So yeah, this NYNY team is looking really, really dangerous today. A little unfortunate for Flicka. They had the first map that was pretty close, but the second one, largely anything but. And so now we go down to who's going to be able to go up against this NYNY squad as we go into our second semifinals here in a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you say what? Headliner is the best player in this tournament. Is that your call, is it, Alan?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Well, you know, we'll see what Skills and Hunt have to say about that as we go into game number 1 of their best of 3. Those are the players to be looking out for as we go into our second semi-final of the day between the Kings of It and 789. And Skills, well, showing off his skills here to kick things off, gets that opening blood against Hunt.
Now, what was the pronunciation we got for this guy's name? Yamoma?
Yamoma. I'm pretty...
Yamomo?
Yamamo.
Yamamo.
No, Yamam. Yamam?
Yamamo. Shoot,
Yamamo?
where is it?
Yeah, it's Yamamo, right?
Yamamo.
Yamamo.
Yamamo. Yeah,
Okay, hold on.
Yamamo is the breakdown that we had. Yamamo.
Hold on, let me just double check this. I don't want to get it wrong.
No, I just looked at it. It's Yamamo.
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 Yamamo? Okay, whatever. Anyway, Yamamo, that's what we're going to go with. And if you don't like it, I apologize. Well, the kings of it are going to end up getting that first round. Again, Skills opens up with the first blood, so cold. Going to follow up with 2 of their own. Skills, once again, these first bloods, really seems to like them. Takes out Ham and Cheesiest. Merkage and Hunt now left up in a 2 versus 3, and we start to see a little bit of the same problem we saw previously on this map. You cannot play passively. You will be punished for it, and Yamamo, well, they're the player that punishes in this situation. It's Hunt, the player that I noted is the player to look out for on 789. He's in a 1 versus 3, and look at the arrows on the mini-map here, Shift. The Kings of it.
Him.
Hunt him down relentlessly. Hunt is dead to rights. It doesn't matter how many kills you get there, buddy. You are not winning that round.
Yeah, they saw him at some point in time while he was crossing around the back. It looked like, I mean, like you mentioned, all those arrows were essentially either chasing after him or were watching exactly where he was going to be coming from. So yeah, really good stuff there. Able to give themselves a round early. Three kills for So Cold, 2 kills for Skills, 1 kill for Yamamo. That'll make it now 2-0 overall. Still looking for our first kill from 789. And Ham and Cheesiest may just peek right into this lineup that is being held by Yamamo. There he is. And there's the kill.
It's unfortunate, really, for Ham and Cheesiest. They thought that they were safe, and Yamamo reminds them that this is Call of Duty, baby. You're never safe. Merkage and Hunt now finds themselves in a 2 versus 3, a rather similar situation, 789 to find themselves in. And Hunt has a player in front of him as Merkage falls from behind. Now Skills has spotted out Merkage. There you go. GG's. That was a very quick search and destroy round.
Yeah, and, well, the Kings of it, they are dominating right now.
I think, like, a lot of it, I think is, at the moment, what we're seeing from these two teams is effectively that problem that I know I've kind of identified earlier on with Flicker, which is 789 are playing super passively, whereas I think the Kings of it are kind of kicking themselves into overdrive with playing extremely aggressively, and 789 are just not dealing with that at the moment.
I mean, yeah, they've got no kills, so definitely not dealing with it. That's for sure. This time, I mean, Hunt is actually on the A site right now, and I honestly would just like to see him plant this bomb. You're close enough at this point. Like, you're just, like, literally you're telling me right now that you want to sit here and hope someone peeks you from back yellow. Like, that is such a one-dimensional angle. Like, get aggressive and plant the bomb. There you go. He's going to try to go for it, but again, it's just a little bit too late because the rest of the Kings of it have scouted out your teammates, so now Hunt is in a 1v3 situation. Still no kills to speak of for our team in orange. And, well, Hunt will find 1, trying to stay alive. Skills will find the easy trade, and now it'll be a 4-0 tally.
Hunt got a kill, so we celebrate. He's exited the Dunkin' Donuts, and, well, now he's found himself a breadstick. 789 just need to get something going here. And again, this is exactly the same play, like for like, that we saw previously. Yamamoto did this earlier. He pushed up the left side of the plane, found a player in that exact same position, and checked this exact same angle for a kill.
Yep.
It's textbook. It's textbook. This guy's doing it with his eyes closed.
Yeah, I think it's just too slow from 789. Like, you've got the bomb over towards A. You're literally on top of the bomb site. Just throw a shoulder. See what's over to your right. If you don't see anything, plant the bomb. Because you wait so long, none of your teammates are near you. They eventually get picked apart and isolated. And that gives an easy 3v1 situation for TKOI. They'll find an opening first blood once more. That's Hunt who drops. He's 1 in 5. Skills up top. There's an easy kill. Last one is on the backside of the staircase. That is also a drop in. Where has 789 gone? They've had one kill. That's it. And it was in a 1v3 situation. I mean, this is not at all what we saw yesterday from this team.
Yeah, I feel like this happened previously, and this does happen pretty often actually in agency showdowns, as sort of a general rule of thumb. Never presume that a team is incredibly talented when they absolutely destroy another team. And the reason for that simply is it's all relative. You know, at 789, they played really well yesterday, but when they come up against a squad that is just a cut above, at least in this game, you know, this is not necessarily saying that they are just incredibly better generally, but in this game, TKOI is showing just a much better level of gameplay, and this is a prime example right here. Skills doesn't wait like a normal player would back for these players to push him. He goes for those gunfights, and he is rewarded for it by getting that first blood. There is a trade, though. So 789, they do have something here, Alan, but Yamamoto, well, shuts that down. Now it's Hunt in a 1 versus 2. Has already got 2 kills. You'll already be asking is for him to double his frag rate. And isn't able to get that first blood. So cold with a pre-aim, gets the gunfight, and, well, TKOI, it's a breeze in map number 1.
That's quick. That is very, very quick. And Hunt, the only player to even find kills, I believe, on his team overall, and that was 2 in 6 rounds. Not going to be good enough. Going to have to make do a little bit better than that. So we'll go to Miami, I believe, for map number 2, and it's going to have to be something completely different from 789. Otherwise, they'll be in their grand finals before 7 o'clock.
Yeah, this could be a quick one. To be honest, fundamentally speaking, you know, I'll ask you this, Alan, because you're a god at Call of Duty. You're pretty good at the game. Okay, you're not. All right, that was a lie. Look, I was trying to gas you up, mate. You know, I'm just trying to make you feel better about yourself. You do pretty well when you play League Play with me. That being said, yeah, so my question for you, Alan, here is, if you are this squad that, you know, you lose 6-0 in game number 1, for a 789, what do they have to do? What is their prime thing that they need to fix at the moment going into game number 2 to have a shot at beating TKOI?
Just confirm that you're getting kills. Just stay together. Just play as a collective 3. No one's pulling out strategies when it comes to this tournament. Everyone's just playing for kills. So stick together as a collective 3. Hit something together, even if you're not calming, like type it right now inside the game chat, like, hey, just stick together all the time as 3. Defense, offense doesn't make a difference. You got to get kills. If you're not getting kills, you're not going to have a chance at winning a round, let alone the map. So start off by at least finding kills, and running together as a collective 3 heightens that chances. So, you know, do the easy thing. Just stick together and try to wolf pack it and see if that is any more favorable for you, because playing across the map, like we just saw them do individually on a map like Checkmate wasn't successful. It's going to be even less successful on a map like Miami because it's much more wide open and much larger, obviously.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this is, I think, the big problem for Miami is for a squad like 789, you cannot play passively because you give up the B-bomb site. It is incredibly hard to retake. So you do not want to do that. And as I say it, it's exactly what they're doing. 789 have decided to place a player in the back alley, of course, and not being all that effective, though, since they don't really have any eyes on top pink or on the site itself, and this is going to give TKOI the room to breathe. They need to get this bomb down over towards B. Now, can a post-plant retake come in for a 789? Well, first gunfight does go the way of Yamamoto. So now Ham and Cheesiest and Mercury need to do this with a man down with 30 seconds on the clock.
Up top, though, Ham and Cheesiest does find 1 kill. Skills is going to challenge, find the first elimination. Second one isn't even nearby. Time is going to be a problem here for Merkage on this long rotation all the way through top pink. And as he comes over the top of the railing, oh boy. So, okay, that's the round. Nice nade, but no time for a defuse, regardless of what happens right here.
Hey, Merkage got the kill, at least. So, you know, every cloud, although there's a very thin silver lining, I will say that much. You know, I'm going to disagree with you, actually, Shift, from your statement that you said earlier, and you believe that Headline is the best player in this tournament. I'm going to say it's skills. I feel like...
I'm putting the farm on a 1v1 in favor of Headliner.
I'm
putting the farm, I'm putting the cows...
The cows? Not the cows.
I'm putting the dog, and I'll put grandma on that bet.
No, I feel like, we have this discussion all the time with these kind of tournaments where it's like, movement is one of the things that can really make a difference between teams, awareness and checking multiple angles, in a certain situation and such. I'm seeing that from skills at the moment. I absolutely cannot wait for that final if it does come to TKOI being there, because that gunfight between Headliner and Skills, that's going to be interesting for sure. TKOI, they're going to get through 789 to get there. And 789, they have shown promise, at least in that last round. Unfortunately, though, they don't end up winning it. But SoCold is going to draw first blood here against Hunt. And again, it's Ham and Cheesiest and Merkage in a 2 versus 3.
Yamabo will find 1 elimination. Not bad overall. That'll make things a little bit easier, and there's the final elimination. Quick 2 rounds. Well, not as quick nearly as the checkmate, but still a very clean 2 rounds at least. At least this time around for the side of 789, they've had a couple of eliminations, and there's been a couple of tighter gunfights, but still the differential, not a favorable one to start. And, well, Hunt, one of the guys that you'd mentioned, needs to play big. He's still pretty empty. He had, 2 total kills? The only 2 kills that 789 had in checkmate. And for a guy that pulls out a Lawbreaker class with a sniper and an SMG, you're expecting more from him, and he's not provided.
Well, we shall see here whether or not TKO will end up winning round number 3. 789 need to get themselves on the board. Skills gets that first blood once again. See, this is what I mean. This is the movement, man. I'm telling you. Skills is cracked. Gets that first gunfight. And once again, it feels like it's a tradition at this point in every round that Hunt dies first, and Ham and Cheesiest and Merkage find themselves in a 2 versus 3. For whatever reason, Merkage and Ham and Cheesiest have decided that they don't need to care about the B-bomb site, and they are both still covering A, despite the fact that their teammate died over towards B and would have absolutely, if they hadn't any communication, called out that there were all players at B. So now it's going to have to be a retake from 789. 35 seconds left on the clock here, Alan. What can TKOI do on the defense?
I don't know, but Ham and Cheese has got to start moving. Now he's really going to have to start moving. I mean, he's back towards the shops, and he's got to he's got to go a long way. Skills, long range, dicey, easy kill, though. Again, it's just not enough time. You got to go.
Yeah. It's the passiveness. Again, at this stage of the tournament, that is going to kill you.
It really is.
That's it. Yeah, the bottom line is, it's just one of those things is where you're not making the heads-up plays. You've got to play with a sense of urgency. You're just not going to win those rounds. It really is simple as that. Shift, you and I, we can analyze this as much as possible, but when it really does boil this down to something as simple as you are just not playing fast enough, you're not going to win the rounds. And 789, the quicker they realize that, the better, because now they're in much the same position as Flicker were, where they don't really have much time here to realize that. They're 3-0 down in the search and destroy, 3 rounds away, therefore, from taking an L. And again, this passiveness. Here it comes in from behind. Skills gets 1, looking for a number 2 on the heady. Gets it. Number 3 is in his sights as well, and it's Ham and Cheesiest. But Ham and Cheesiest actually comes out with a little bit of rebellion. Takes out Skills. Yamamo there. Can they get the trade? Looking for it. Ham and Cheesiest, unfortunately, chooses the wrong way to go for that kill. And TKOI, again, it's the aggression that just plays so well into their hands.
Yeah, this is going to be a 12-0, looks like, huh? I mean, there has been very little to speak of positively for 789, and I'm so surprised by that. Especially considering that Hunt is 0-4. I mean, the guy tagged me in his Instagram story saying something about how you like those sniper shots or something, and now he's 0-4. Like, brother, where's that confidence? Let's see it. You got to get your team back in the game here. And it's going to have to happen sooner rather than later. Yeah, you got 3 homies for TKOI pushing to the middle of the map. Looks like they're going to go over to A. And it's going to be Merkage, who's the only player who's here.
TKOI, again, with that aggression, they've gone towards A. I love this play. Again, I just love that at this point, TKOI, and you can already tell this. Of course, you and I will recognize this as casters. You kind of know what's going through a player's mind when a play does happen. For TKOI there, it's literally just, they know that 789 play extremely passively. They know they can just get away with running through beach, which is normally something that no players ever do. Not in a million years. You do not just run straight down the beach without consequence. And they knew they could do that. And now off the back of it, we're seeing TKOI Close part positioning. It's Merkage and Hunt this time in the 2 versus 3. This could be a lovely nade. It's actually Semtex going out. Fortunately, doesn't connect with either player. The shots are going absolutely nowhere either. And now 12 seconds on the clock. Again, you got to reserve 7.5 for that. The fuse. Merkage is going straight for it. This is a play, but he doesn't actually start the defuse until it's too late. And regardless of what happens here, this is going to be a TKOI round, and it is.
Yeah, this is going to be a 12-0. We're going to be... I hope that NY and Y is ready to go here, because this match was over in a blink of an eye. And, man, that is a beating from TKOI. It is just so surprising. Ham and Cheesiest, he had a good first day. Merkage played pretty well throughout the first 2 days collectively, and Hunt, yesterday I think we could have made an argument that he was possibly deserving of an MVP candidacy, but he's 1-5 and was like 2-6 in the last round. So not a great performance from him here, and one of the main reasons why TKOI has just been running through this.
It's TKOI, they just look really good at the moment, generally. A cut above this 789 roster. Well, now the question is, can 789 find a way to bounce back in this game? Again, you know, the answer has been round after round after round. Not with this passiveness. You need to go. 789, please go. Well, they go, and they die. Merkage is going to fall. Ham and Cheesiest goes as well. At least Hunt's got the bomb. I mean, that's the one positive here, right, Shift?
You
is
can
that Hunt's got this bomb.
Yeah.
He can plant this and maybe work the time. My question is now, where do you go in this post-plant position? So what you do have in your favor here is TKOI. You have So Cold and Skills. They have to traverse the entirety of this map. Of course, though, these players aren't silly. They're not stupid. They know that Hunt's going to be in one of these corners, and Yamamoto is going to hunt down.
What are you looking at?
To be honest, like, I kind of get it in a sense for Hunt. Like, there are so many angles that you need to cover there. That being said, there is one angle in particular which you can go on for, especially for the way that he planted that bomb. You go on the half wall over towards, or top piano. Yeah, it doesn't matter. All right, I love how you and I actually had different ideas there as to what the best position is for that bomb.
For a 1v3, yeah. If you go top piano, like, even if you're sitting half wall, there are still 3 different angles that they can come from: behind you, from next to you, and then also from the bomb site itself. From top piano, all you have to worry about is looking down those stairs, making sure nobody comes from the bottom of piano, and then you just jump over, check the bomb, no one's on it. Okay, back to watching this. Just do that back and forth, because you have to try to kill the clock and isolate an angle. But regardless, that 789 team did not show up today. So a 12-0 overall through 2 maps. It gets us our grand finals. We're already ready to go, or it's not even at 7 o'clock. That was a quick set of semis.
Yes, it absolutely was. This has been, I want to say, a hell of a day of Call of Duty so far. Surprising in the sense that these semi-finals have gone so quickly. But NYNY, New York, as I believe they are actually called, are going up against the Kings of It for the title of Agency Showdown 3 champions. I want to say here in the US, of course, for everybody who is aware of my accent and has ears, you'll know that I'm not in the US, unfortunately. I'd love to be in the US.
No, surely not.
Yeah, I would love to be in the US right now, actually. Honestly, it would be quite nice. I'd quite like to come out to Los Angeles, go to the beach, and, you know, set myself up with a sunbed, get the belly out, and you know, get that tan going. But unfortunately, I'm not doing that. I'm having the time of my life with Alan, which actually, to be fair, I'm pretty happy about. I love spending time with Alan. It's really fun.
We're having a good time. Yeah, we do enjoy watching over Call of Duty. But that brings us to a grand finals. It should be really interesting because NYNY, we just again, it was only 2 minutes ago. We talked about them. Incredible, absolutely incredible. But at the same point, TKY just came off of a 12-0. So I don't know. I think there's something to be said because you looked at that bracket for a moment again. 4 p.m. clean out, which was 789's opponent yesterday, only got there. I mean, well, not only, but they got there due to a disqualification of their opponent in the winners round 1. And even that matchup between 789 and 4 p.m. cleanup wasn't exactly convincing. So was 789 really up to the level of the semifinalists? Can't really definitively say yes, but at the same point, you know, it's a situation to where this DKOI squad is looking like every bit of what we saw in the opening day 1, where they just kind of took every match by the haunches and just did not let their opponents have a chance to get into it. So we should have a pretty good grand finals in this best of 5 coming up.
Yeah, I think, one of the things that we talked about here is that actually, you can never say that a team is definitively the best team in a tournament such as this. And the reason for that is because you have varying levels of skill on all the teams that we have participating in this tournament. That is always the case. And so, while you might see that the TKOI roster is much better than 789, for comparison, 789 yesterday, they 2-0'd 4 p.m. clean out. So there are just sort of, I'd say it's like almost like a staircase of skill, as it were. And at the very top, you have the two teams in the grand finals here. That being said, the reason I'm kind of thinking here about sort of how good of a roster TKOI actually are, you look at their run into this. Of course, they absolutely did beat the team they could beat in round one, and then of course in the quarterfinals. But they beat 789 here in the semifinals, and 789 actually, they kind of got sort of they kind of not necessarily waltzed into the semi-finals, but in a way they might have had a harder run had things not gone in their favor. Of course, they got, if you remember, in round number one, they got a DQ, I believe it was, against the Pinnacle Death Squad, at least in map number one, because of use of a banned item, and then end up winning in map number two in a series that should, if there was no banned items involved, gone to a game 3. And then, of course, they got the win yesterday against 4 p.m. Cleanout, but that could have well been GP Decimate, who might have been a better team, right? So the point I'm getting at here is that I think you can never really tell who are the best teams in a tournament such as this, because a lot of it comes down to who you play on the day, and that really does affect how those matches are going to go. Like, for all we know here, one of these two teams could just be a cut above the other, and they could come out in 6-0, 6-0, 6-0 this last matchup.
It's very possible, but I don't
think it's going to happen. Just to
happen.
Just to make sure that you guys are on my level here, I do not think that's going to happen. I think this is going to be a skills versus headliner, sort of Iron Man versus Captain America fight to the death. Even though they didn't die in Civil War.
It's going to be interesting. I'm hoping that our players are hearing us. Round number 1, everybody stay in spawn except for headliner and skills. 1v1. I want to see it happen. And then after that, everyone can go fight each other. But I want to see that 1v1 come out to be, because that's what I wanted to see. But we're not going to get it here in this opener. Maybe in a future map.
Well,
headliner has found first blood. It was versus skills, so
that's what I was about
the
to
game
say.
inside the game is certainly in their favor.
Headliner starts that versus matchup strong, taking out skills early on in this one. The Kings of it now down to a 2-man squad with So Cold and Yamamoto. Oh, Yamo. Okay, buddy. Calm it down a little bit. Takes down M5 with a lovely drop shot. And that now leaves us in a 2 versus 2 here. Yamamoto and So Cold versus Headliner and Bushquail. Bushquail might just get some nice timing. Or actually worse timing here. So Cold coming up from the open stairs. So shots in. Bushquail hasn't turned around. So Cold actually hasn't got this gunfight. Headline takes down Yamamoto elsewhere. So now So Cold in a 1 versus 2. And this bomb is down.
Yeah, I don't know what you do here if you're So Cold. You're going to have to hope that you get some timing. Headliner will smoke him. I mean, I think he was looking at that angle the entire time, but never even let So Cold even have a chance at that gunfight. And this should be Headliner's POV. Yep, was watching right there. Barely misses a shot. Good stuff overall. And all right, so maybe we're starting to get a little bit of our answer here about what exactly is the difference maker. Was it the fact that TKOI was just playing up against an opponent that was just lucky to be this far? Or is it just the fact that Headliner is too good? So far, you could make arguments for either at the moment, but again, we're just 1 round in, so we'll let those narratives speak for themselves as we go on.
Just a good start from Headliner over. Almost snaps on Yamamoto. It's not going to happen here, though. Yamamoto is going to open up with that first blood. Now M-Fried. And Bushquail in this 2 versus 3 have broken the line. M-Fried picks up skills. Trade coming in from Yamamoto. Now it's a 1 versus 2 for Bushquail.
Bushquail is kind of caught in a weird spot just outside this art building. But So Cold with the bomb has not planted yet. And honestly, if you just get this kill, really even if you get one of the kills, it puts a lot of pressure on TKOI to make a play happen. But Bushquail is a bit uncertain about what kind of an angle he wants to take, and as he comes around, opening shots from Yamamo is pretty decent. Stun comes through. Actually, I think that stuns him more than it actually stuns his opponent, and he'll eventually be taken down from behind. So we go 1-1 here in the first map.
Apologies, Shift. My internet's just decided to not necessarily die on me, but it's a little bit slow. So if I'm not sure if I sound like a robot.
I'm actually getting
moment.
pretty fuzzy picture right now too, so it might not be just you.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. You sound a little bit robotic to me, so I think it is my internet, and might be both of us actually. It wouldn't that quite be something we both just had internet issues at the same time. But right now, it is going to be 1-1. This is as close of a start as we expected, although it is going to be Yamamo actually the player to note for a TKOI. Headliner looking for this opening gunfight against Skills. Won't find it. Skills snaps there with the AK-47. NYNY looking for the trades. Fried's going to find it against Yamamo. Player to take down. TKOI now looking for the ace here. More accurately, Skills looking for the ace. A 1 versus 1 over here at the site versus Fried. Yeah, Soko's now coming over from Zig to come with the backup. So Cold is going to deny the ace from Skills and ends up closing out the round.
All right, so Headliner gets shut down. TKOI wins 2 rounds. We've seen this story before. You just don't, I think if you're NYNY, you just don't want it to be the Headliner show. Like, you do need to have good participation from both Bushquail and Fried again. Especially in grand finals, again, against a team that is looking pretty darn good overall. You got to come through and really participate. Bushquail 0-2. Yeah, Fried's gotten a couple of kills in the first 3 rounds, but Headliner was the only one who found kills in the round that they won, so you can't let that be your win condition every single time, obviously.
Well, Yamamo's going to open up with that first blood against Bushquail. Skills follows up with another one. Fried now left up in a 1 versus 3. These rounds are going so quickly, Shift.
Yeah.
I love the aggression coming out from both of these teams at the moment. Fried is going to pick up... Sorry, won't pick up that last gunfight. A flawless round for the Kings of it.
Yeah, I'm liking that we're seeing this speed. You know, a little bit of PTSD from yesterday when 4 p.m. cleanup just didn't leave spawn on this map, but seeing both teams just kind of come out and have confidence and just try to play head to toe against one another, I think is just great overall. So hopefully that puts us in a position to where we'll see more of this. And well, Bushquail still empty from any kills. Yamamo on 6-2. And well, Bushquail actually tosses a nice Semtex, nearly connects for kills. Headliner versus Skills, who's on a heady, finds the first blood once more. And Headliner has been empty. He's been 0-4 in the last 4 rounds now in total. Just 3 kills from the first. Everything comes down to Bushquail, and this is a very difficult 1v3, 60 seconds to play. And looks like Yamamo is going to be right behind him here. It's only a matter of time before players see each other, you feel like, and now they finally do. Yamamo, a couple of shots in, but gets stunned. Not going to make a difference. Nowhere for him to go. TKOI up 4-1. Good stuff here. So Cold's patience, able to find first blood. I think Brody's internet is dying right now, so gotta casually talk over the gameplay as it happens. And another situation where TKOI are making kills very difficult to come by for the side of NYNY. 5 total in 5 rounds is not a statistic that you would like to hear if you're an NYNY fan. Skills holding the middle of the map. Yamamo over on the top of statue. Headliner opening shots. Not going to connect as the angle is forfeited. Bomb is still moving from the backside of garage. Has not really gone anywhere yet. And Bushquail is trying to play for a flank. Looks like finally they'll go over towards the B site. Just waiting on to see where the point of contact could be. Time is running a little bit low, 45 seconds. And Bushquail, he's going to be scouted out over towards the garage. Stun comes out, and they're going to play for the kill in the back. Bushquail finds one. The kills from the other side, though, are good, except for that Skills cannot find the second kill. So that will leave to a 1v1. Not a lot of time here for So Cold to make a play. He's going to have to commit to a bomb site. He's going to go over to A. Fried nearby.
It's going to come down to who sees who first, likely. And I think So Cold, he maybe did see a player up top. He's going to try to play for the kill by the look of it. Re-wraps around. Not going to see him up. And time to plant will now be an issue. Now no more time to plant. And So Cold doesn't recognize that till it's too late. That'll be the round. NY finds a free second round.
Hey, I'm back.
Welcome
Apologies
back.
about that. My internet decided to die on me. I was just making sure that it wasn't my internet. Sometimes my Xbox likes to download stuff when I haven't actually got it turned on, and it decided to update a game of mine. So I'm back now. My internet's fine. I can hear you, Alan. You no longer sound like C3PO, and well, I've come back to a little bit of a mess for NY. They're 4-2 down here against the Kings of It. So Cold now on a 4 streak. Now, luckily for NY, they'd actually won't be concerned about any score streaks since they're banned in this tournament. But Headliner almost gets his head taken off there by Skills to open up this round.
Well, the early 3v2 once more. TKOI, they've gotten NY essentially pinned up inside of Art. Bushquail is trying to watch this corner from Zig, but no one's going to challenge it. And it's just TKOI taking away the map from New York here. They have been playing very slowly comparatively to what we saw in their previous match and their previous days of gameplay. And, well, they don't look comfortable, I'll tell you that much. Again, outside of the first round where Headliner find 3 kills, he's been 0-5 since. That's something that's going to have to change. 1v1 with Skills. Skills not interested in the play. Frag goes out. Will not connect, but Bushquail, meanwhile, does at least even up the odds to a 2v2.
Now, 2 versus 2 here for these teams. 25 seconds left on the clock. NY arguably in a worse position here. Now even more so as Skills takes out Headliner. It's a 2 versus 1. There's not really much you can do there if you're Bushquail. And the Kings of It looking pretty good here, Shift.
Yeah.
Remember, this is a best of 5, everybody, so this is not a best of 3s. This is not, you know, the end of the world here if the Kings of It start 1-0 for NY. But still, you'd be pretty happy with this performance so far if you're the Kings of It.
Absolutely, you are. I mean, they've forced NY to play a totally different game than what we've seen in the last couple of days. They're playing super slow. They're playing borderline, maybe even nervous. I mean, we're not seeing the same kind of aggressive challenges that we're used to with this NY squad. Headliner has been, again, 0-6 in the last 6 rounds. That's not good news. Another aggressive hit from TKOI. Headliner not able to see Skills down low. Tries to keep his life. Slides away. Shoots the glass. Doesn't read Skills up top. Eventually takes the challenge. Spams at him. Nobody there, and he just goes through his entire clip, apparently, and So Cold finds the easy kill. This will be a 6-2. We'll go to map number 2 pretty quickly, you figure.
Hey, let's not count out Bushquail just yet. I have faith in the Bushquail for this 1 versus 3. Of course, that might be misplaced faith, but I guess we're about to find out. It's 35 seconds on the clock. Bushquail can't even get past the first hurdle. The Kings of It just look better in game number 1. Great performances all around from this squad.
I mean, they're dominating.
Mm-hmm.
Flat out. I mean, doesn't matter who they're playing. It seems like they just don't care. They're just gonna keep playing their game, and yeah, 1-0 up, best of 5. Next map coming up to us.
Yeah, you know, we've talked at length about the fact that if you have confidence in any given situation, you are going to be better off as a team. And this is exactly what we're seeing from the Kings of It. And really, I think the moral of the story here, kind of like we're opening an episode of Star Wars The Clone Wars, is, you know, have confidence in yourselves. Have faith that you are going to win every gunfight you come across, because the Kings of It right now, that is exactly what they're doing. They're going into every gunfight knowing that they're going to win it. And, well, hey, presto, that's exactly what happens. The Kings of It now 6-2 in game number 1. Now, remember, folks, as I said, this is not the end of the world. This is not a best of 3 like we've had done for every other round of this tournament. This is the grand finals, and that means that we have a best of 5 on our hands. So the Kings of It might well be 1-0 up now, but they, you know, for the next 3 games, we could see NY just come through and surge, and maybe they'll win the series 3-1. You know, there's still a lot of potential here for NY to come back in this series.
Yeah, I mean, again, we don't often see NY hit the brakes that quickly. So I'm hoping that at least for their sake, coming into a new map, that they feel more comfortable. And well, So Cold either didn't load in or killed himself off the rip, one of the two. He actually just connected, it looks like, so he actually connects in late, and that means that we'll probably get a restart. See if we can get him in from the get-go.
Absolutely. Well, what a week of action it has been here in the Agency Showdown. Of course, Alan and I, you and I, we always love doing this stuff, don't we? With the Agency Showdown, it's always fun. It's like a breath of fresh air. You know, for those of you who are kind of unaware, Alan and I, regularly speaking, we cast competitive Call of Duty esports, which effectively is just, you know, it's insane. It's fast paced all the time. These players at the top of their game, they know everything about the game. You know, they've got all these deep set strategies and such, and on top of that as well, they're incredibly talented. You know, to come in this tournament and get to cast over this level of play, I think it's a nice sort of refreshing Call of Duty set of matches. I suppose realistically, it's nice to kind of see, you know, some different weapons being used, some variety in the gameplay, variety in the strategies being used, and of course, you know, just for these players, with everything that's going on in the world at the moment, I think it's nice to have something like this. You know, Call of Duty is always a fun escape from everything going on at the moment, and you know, this tournament, it's really emblematic of that.
Yeah, it's like the video game version of a company softball game.
Yes.
So it's always a good time.
Or school sports day, which is probably more in a recent memory for me.
Yeah, definitely more recent for you than it is for me.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Anyway, 1-0 for TKOI overall in this best of 5. Let's see if MYMY can even the odds here. They're going to start Garrison Search and Destroy on a strong note. They pick up that first blood as Bushquell takes out So Cold. Now Yamamoto and Skills. Yamamoto coming straight on. Skills picks up that first blood. Yamamoto gets the second, and then Fried. Well, he tries, but Yamamoto has other ideas.
Yep, and ever since we figured out his pronunciation, we've been saying his name a lot more often today. I mean, again, there was not a weak link on this TKOI squad, but today has been the most that we've seen from Yamamoto for sure. I mean, he's been playing really, really well, and that will put, again, extra favor into TKOI's back pockets. Headliner, again, he has now been, 7 rounds in a row without a kill, compared to from last game into this one. That needs to change. You want to have a chance here for NYNY, and he will be the first one to check things out over towards the Dark Arches area. Not going to see anything. Gives up the spot, and just as he does, TKOI start to make their play forward.
NYNY, what can you do? It's going to be a slow, methodical push for a TKOI here. And this is the one map that I'd say actually being slow is probably a better strategy than just running headfirst into the action. NYNY going to be well aware of that. Just waiting for this first fight to go down, and it's going to be Skills winning it against Bushquell. Skills looking for number 2. Headliner rushes into the fight for the trade, and that's an important trade to make, of course. Brings us down to a 2 versus 2. TKOI now have to retrieve that bomb. It's Yamamoto, and a 1 versus 1 now. Headliner comes up, trades it. Is that an extra bullet into the body as well, Shift?
I didn't take anything away from it personally.
Storyline Shift.
Yeah, it looked like it was an extra shot, but oh well.
Well, NYNY are able to tie up the round count in this game of Search and Destroy. TKOI now on the defense. This is a pretty standard setup for Search and Destroy. I do really like this actually overall. You know, you and I will be kind of used to this setup. Of course, regularly speaking, in 4 versus 4 Search and Destroy, you'd have a player in the area that you call lights, or 2 players over towards green. It's not to be the case here. NYNY on the offense, trying to figure out realistically where these TKOI players are positioned. And then, of course, off the back of that information, going to have to pounce on it and get them down. They've spotted out Skills. Skills needs to win this gunfight. He's going to get one stuck with a lovely play. Semtex from Bushquail, though. That should open up proceedings for NYNY to make their way over towards A. Unfortunately, though, they're not able to do it as Yamamo picks up the blood, but Bushquail may have just got some beautiful timing here. The fake out, intentional or otherwise, it works perfectly. 25 seconds down the clock. 1 versus 1 between Yamamo and Bushquail.
Oof. Yamamo 1v1 with Bushquail. Looks like the bomb will be planted without contest. Except that as he gets it planted, Yamamo checks it, finds the kill, and TKOI will go up 2-1.
Good play from Yamamo there, not to actually overcommit over towards A. Was satisfied with the look from green platform. Of course, then goes back to check B. That was just one of those situations there where, realistically speaking, if you're Bushquail, there's not really much that you can do other than maybe plant the bomb a little bit earlier. That comes down to just timing in the 1 versus 1 and Yamamo playing it smart. So good play from Bushquail. Unfortunately, it just doesn't work out. And TKOI now going to take the lead here in Search and Destroy. And, you know, I was talking up Skills as the player to watch on this Kings of It roster. But for today, at least, Yamamo has absolutely turned the heck up.
Yeah,
he has dialed it to 11. He's been watching Optic Scumpy's YouTube videos coming into this tournament. He is fired up. TKOI now on the offense. They've gone for a little bit more of a reserve strategy here. So Cold with the bomb inside the artillery.
Well, Bushquail last alive will be taken out, and we're still seeing very quick rounds here for TKOI overall. Skills is able to once again find Headliner, who continues just to spam at areas, hoping that someone's going to secondary chow him, and that's just not been the case. At least he's found a couple of kills so far in these first 4 rounds, but Yamamo on 3 in a row after another flawless round for TKOI. I mean, he's got to, I don't even know. I mean, at this point, again, I'm kind of going back to the same kind of advice I was trying to think of for who just played TKOI. I mean, they were on the screen long enough. 789. Just stick together. just play as a collective 3. Just try to find trades. Just try to play the kills together as a squad because they're getting torn apart 1 by 1.
Skills gets the opening blood onto Bushquail here. At least for this engagement. And now M-Fried. And look at M-Fried. He's being bullied, at least on the mini-map. He's just going to slip the net, though. They have no idea. Actually, I think they might have done. I think Yamamo spotted him out. So Cold checks it out. Good backup coming in from Skills. TKOI playing as a team. As you point out, Shift, right? TKOI here are looking pretty good as a roster. They're checking all their angles together. This was a little bit of bad timing for Headliner, I'll be honest. Yamamo pops out of the event just as Headliner waltzes on by. TKOI off the back of it. Now 4-1 up in the Search and Destroy. They look really good.
Well, looking like this, if this continues, that this could be a very quick 2-0 up. Skills will actually find a sniper rifle first blood this time around. Yamamo going to try to clear out the vent. He will be right behind Bushquail. And nope, actually has maybe not fully realized. I think maybe he heard him late. Yeah, there's the spam shots. Nobody's there, though, now as Bushquail has gotten out of the vent. MMO is going to try to see, are you still here? Nope, not there anymore. And I think he maybe just saw his shoulder as he was running through, and that may have been the case. Easy kill. 5-1 up.
Bit of deja vu here, Alan. I mean, I know that, what, NYNY, they got 2 rounds in the first game of Search and Destroy here, but, I mean, TKOI, I'm not going to call that they just look like the better team at the moment, but I think there are just certain things they are doing that is giving them the edge over NYNY. And those certain things, if NYNY can combat them, then they could still come back into this one. Stranger things have absolutely happened. NYNY now need to make the comeback happen starting now. What can they do? Bomb in hand for Headliner. NYNY making the dash for A. TKOI, look at this aggression from them. They may just catch NYMY off guard. First gunfight's going to go in favor of Bushquell, though. They're ready for the aggression this time around. Yamamo still opting to go up through mid. Mfried is ready for it. Bushquell is actually going to get his second of the round. And so quickly, TKOI, the aggression, is met with a response from NYMY. And that's the response I need to see.
Yeah, no, I was about to say the exact same thing. That's exactly the change of pace that I was hoping for NYNY overall. And again, it comes at the backside of still no participation largely from Headliner. He's gone ice cold, so it looks like I need to take a second mortgage out if I'm selling off the farm and the cow and grandma and the dog here, because he has been abysmal in this matchup compared to what we saw in the first semis and then even beyond that in the last 2 days. I mean, Bushquell's picking things up here, but if you would have told me at the beginning of the day that Headliner and Mfry would have the same stat lines in the grand finals, I would have called you crazy.
Skills and Yamamo both turning up here. TKOI off the back of that duet. Laughing all the way here to a potential 2-0 lead, Alan. Trophy System's going to catch some utilities being thrown at NYMY. TKOI, though, let it be known, they absolutely have a ton of space to work with here on the map. They have been essentially gifted the entirety of B. Headliner gets taken down. Now they have even more control over the bomb site. This is a really tough situation to find yourselves in if you're a Bushquell. And Mfried, TKOI, do they push for these gunfights? They absolutely will. Skills is going to lose his, though, against Mfried. A big one to take. Bushquell takes down So Cold as well, and this very quickly becomes a situation that Yamamo needs to save.
He's got to actually, I like this route. He's going to go behind the play at A. The bomb, as you see it, is up top by green, or just below the ladder. Kind of hard to tell where exactly it is. He's going to try to play for a flank behind this, and the timing could be incredible for him. Mfried is not scouted out, and he will find one, looking for the second, nearly able to get it. Not going to find the final kill. I'm not going to lie, Yamamo did not play like this at all yesterday or the day before. Like, I'm not going to suggest anything, but this is not... this does not feel like the same player from the first 2 days. That's all I'm going to say.
It is. Believe it or not, Alan, it is the same player. Yamamo is playing with some fire at the moment. He wants that trophy for the Agency Showdown 3 championship. Can they find game number 2 here versus NYMY? NYMY have clawed 2 rounds back. Looking to continue their journey on through. A stun against Yamamo is going to remove him from lights. NYMY, though, they don't really seem ready to assault this B-bomb site just yet.
Taking their time, and that's fine. Headliner is going to be the first one forward, and there is a player on the cross here by Vent. So Cold finds the first blood onto Headliner, trying to peek out of Vent. Mfried is also down there right now, and he's about to come into this resistance. He does take down Yamamo. So 2v2, Semtex will push him back, but doesn't take any damage from it, so the regen is there, but only 35 seconds to play, and Bushquell's taking the bomb the wrong direction. Gotta go.
Oh, Bushquell getting a taste of these players. Semtex goes out, turns around for So Cold. What a situation that would be, and now Mfried to salvage game number 2 is stunned. Picks up this bomb, puts some shots off, and that should be the end of Mfried. Yes, it will be. TKOI. 2-0 up in our grand finals here, Alan. And again, a lot of it is Yamamo and Skills. That deadly duo for this roster is bringing them through potentially to victory. They are just one search and destroy game away from becoming our 3rd US Agency Showdown champions.
Yeah, you gotta do more collectively from NYNY. I mean, 4 total rounds so far throughout 2 maps. Not going to be good enough versus a team that is bringing a new player here to bring out. You know, Yamamo was having a heck of a day. And that's not good news because So Cold and Skills are still also playing very well. So, yeah, a reverse sweep would have to be on the cards. But first and foremost, you just got to start finding kills. That's been the big thing. I mean,
so many rounds that they're just completely empty from kills, and TKOI find flawless situations, and that you just can't do that. You got to stick together and find kills. It's again, we're not playing search and destroy here, really. We're playing essentially TDM, with an objective around it. So if you're looking to play off kills for your win condition, got to stick together and at least play for trades. That's like rule number 1 of search and destroy overall as a game mode. We don't have a respawn. Got to trade out kills. If you get first blooded, you have to be able to get a trade somewhere, and has not been the case, not in this grand finals, and even for 789, it was not the case, obviously, in their semifinal matchup versus this TKOI team that went 12-0 in their 2 maps.
TKOI look good. They absolutely do look good. I will say one thing is that NYNY are showing resilience. They did just get 2 rounds, I think it was on the bounce, to at least bring it to 6-3 as a scoreline. Although, again, I feel like they are being outplayed a little bit in terms of their positioning on the minimap. I know this is something that we talk about very often, but if you're not finding yourselves in the right positions to win your gunfights, you're not going to win the gunfights. It is very simple. And a lot of it is, I think, TKOI, we saw it from Yamamo, for example. It's map awareness, where you can find yourselves in these positions where you're in a 1 versus 2 and you know how to play the map to your advantage. And that, I don't think we're seeing that from NYNY at the moment. And it is one of those difference makers that TKOI are playing very well. To move up 2-0 in this grand final. Now we need to see the old reverse sweep from NYNY to make themselves the Agency Showdown champions.
Yep, that's right. Just waiting on our last lobby here. And, well, at least our 3rd lobby. Could be our last lobby. And it's going to be Moscow for the 3rd map that's in line. And then it could potentially be a checkmate for map 4 and then Miami for map 5. So Moscow, a map very similar to Raid, very open, very big, and that was not good news for NYNY. They're gonna have to find a way to again change things up and just be better.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of this, again, as I'm saying, it just comes down to awareness of the map, awareness of sort of what plays you need to make on the defense and on the offense, and it is those things that do separate the best teams from the rest. And that is the case at the moment, as we are going to be seeing 2-0 advantage for this TKOI squad against NYNY. Apologies about the delay, guys. We'll be getting into this map as soon as we can. And just like that, it's magic. We're into Moscow. Search and destroy for what could be the final map. It's very much looking like it will be if TKOI just playing like they are. If they continue this, Alan, NYNY not going to have the happiest grand final.
Well, at least you're in the top 2, and you were able to do it pretty convincingly, so there is something. Skills for first blood, and So Cold is nowhere near this play. This is a 2v3 situation. TKOI is hitting a flank. Yamamo's on the back. He's going to find some timing here for at least 1 kill, you feel like, and yep, there it is. AK-70 or 47 in the hand. Headliner does find the response, but it would be a 1v3 that's in front of him.
Headliner, can you pull off the 1 versus 3? Has completed step 1, which is picking up Yamame. I love that from Headliner. He sees So Cold and is like, nope, I'm out of here. Could well come to play into Headliner's hands here. This wrap through the lobby. Or actually against him. So Cold's in this corner. This should be Headliner dying. Please go for the execution. Okay, no, for a second. I was a little bit concerned that Headliner was going to turn on him. Doesn't happen though, and TKOI, I would argue mostly once again off Yamamo coming out with that flank. I think that completely shuts down that initial push.
Oh yeah, it's a 2v3 up top by Eskies. So Cold's nowhere there, and first blood was everything for the engagement. You get a wrap all the way from behind. Yamamo finds another free kill. Everyone shares the wealth there at the end. So now it's down to what does TQI want to do with their offense. They're just going to completely stack up over towards A, and why would you not? I mean, you're already out frying this NYNY team without problem. Yamamo coming down the stairs will find 1 kill. Up top with a 3-time scope is Bush Quail. And another numbers situation in favor of TKOI. And, well, M-Fried and Bush Quail together need to find a way to work this from the middle of the map, I guess.
Oh, Yamamo. He just shoot at his own teammate. Just taking some preemptive shots. Of course, none of them anywhere near NYNY, but good knowledge here from NYNY to react to Yamamo's position. Of course, it is all a ruse. TKY are going to get this bomb down over towards A. Now NYNY got to retake this, and you've got to do it fast. Bushquail is in nowhere land. Mfried's going to have to assault this site on their own. So Cold in this position should be able to pick up Mfried here. There it is. Mfried's trying to be sneaky beaky like, and it's not to be. And now Bushquail are 1 versus 2. We'll actually spot out Skills here. Opens up with the blood. There is time to get this defuse off, but unfortunately for him, a 1 versus 2. You got to check the angles there before hopping on the bomb.
Yeah, this is, again, NYY is playing really individually again. Everyone's just kind of spreading the map, and no one's winning. We're opening 1v1s. When you lose numbers like they have been, it's just too difficult. And it's So Cold, who's now on 3 in a row, 3-0 up overall. Next defense coming out for TKOI. And they're going to go a 2-1 split, as they have been so far. Again, So Cold just playing through the street, making sure nobody comes B. Skills will sit in the middle of the map, as he can maybe help out through the A site, through escalators, or wrap all the way around if he wants to. And Yamamo by himself has already pushed up over towards bricks. This timing is going to be incredible. We'll find 1, but there is a trade. Bushquail finds the kill. Now coming up Eskies is Skills. And I don't know if anyone's actually seen him yet. That's going to easy find a kill and get away. Oh. Tries to turn for Headliner. Not going to be there, so we get a 1v1.
Skills would have got away there. That would likely have been the round. Now it has to go down to a 1v1. Oh my goodness, So Cold doesn't check it. Gets the time in. This should be an easy kill for Headliner, and it will be. And again, it is imperative that Skills gets away there after that one-on-one engagement. Of course, they do not. Headliner ends up picking up this gunfight. And of course, a little bit of timing to sprinkle onto the gunfight versus So Cold, or lack thereof. And it means that NYY are on the board here, Shift.
Yeah, a nice 1v1 win. Would love to see them tie this game up here and try to take away that deficit early on in this series and not find themselves down early in a big way, which obviously has been the case in our first 2 maps so far. This time, TKOI going to make a play through the middle of the map, and then likely either up the stairs or towards B. Mfried is just cherry picking in a window, gets his head taken off, and that's going to be a B site completely taken from TKOI. Bushquail is going to try to come back. Headliner is going to try to play for A, I guess. And now he's going to have to make a play back over to B for a 1v3.
Headliner, well, he's pulled off 1 versus 3s before. It's not outside the realms of possibility, of course. He hasn't done it against TKOI, and unfortunately, there's a bin there, buddy. Get stuck on it. TKOI going to end up taking the round. And again, it's this aggressiveness. Heads up play. They push on through mid. They deal with the first engagement. And then they realize straight from there on, they have a bomb site likely free for them. And it works out really well.
5 and 3 for Yamamo. 3 and 1, 3 and 2 for So Cold and Skills. Still killless as Mfried. The collective 3 for TKOI is just better right now. And it's surprising because NYNY had no problem with their semifinal. Everyone was participating. Headliner was popping off. Mfried was even finding a lot of value on one of the maps. And that's just not the case here versus the Kings of it. So kind of hard to say what you have to do here besides just shoot straighter, play trades. I mean, basic Call of Duty. Bushquail's going to try to play for maybe a quick plant. I would like to see him do it, considering that you've already cleared so much space, but they're just going to keep waiting. And the more time they take is the more time that the Kings of it can start to respond. And Skills has disconnected. It looks like he's timed out completely, and Yamamo's not moving either. So I have to imagine that we'll get a lobby restart with 3-1. Maybe not. Here comes the play. Headliner finds a kill. So maybe this goes 3-2, not sure, but I imagine that we will get a lobby restart if Skills can't get back in immediately.
There's a trade. That would be unfortunate here if this is the way that they lose game number 3. I imagine that we will see a restart. Of course, we are not ops. We don't make these kind of calls.
Someone was listening to Challengers Elite today.
Just need to make sure nobody gets mad at us. Hey, it's our faces. Hello, everybody. And what do you mean somebody was listening? Of course I was listening to Challenges Elite. If you guys
Ton
didn't see
went on,
Challenges Elite today.
Did you hear Ton going off for like 5 minutes about how he's that league op split?
Just need to make sure. Please don't. Yeah, that's because of some previous bad experiences with Rams fans. They are a rowdy lot. They do love their Call of Duty, and they hate their casters apparently. Anyway, yeah, so there'll be a call about this soon. We'll find out exactly what the call is. I imagine, yeah, so it's going to be restarted from 3-1. Hey, would you look at that? These guys, they're super fast with their calls. So it'll be 3-1 in favor of TKOI. Okay, 3-2 in favor of TKOI. We've been told it's 3-2. That last round will stand, and that does make sense, of course. It's not exactly TKOI's fault that the player did lag out in round number 5. And they got the bomb down as well, I believe, just about at the same time as the player lagging out. So you can't really say, realistically speaking, whether or not they would have won the round. But it is going to be a round to the NYNY squad. And it's 3-2 is going to be the scoreline we start from.
Yeah, it's a very fortunate second round to be found there. I mean, again, hard to say how that would have gone one way or the other, but going down 4-1 would be obviously much, again, that kind of goes back to what we were saying before. You just don't want to go down that early. So good stuff overall to at least close out that round. And yeah, it's going to have to be a reverse sweep still. Hard task to be asked for, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is, I think, for NYNY, their backs are against the wall here. Although this has been a close game of Search and Destroy thus far, of course. Now it's 2-3. Still in favor, though, of TKOI. We'll see whether or not NYNY are about to get a map on the board, or whether or not this is a 3-0 sweep for TKOI for them to become your third US Agency Showdown champions. They're starting strong here in round number 6. Skills picks up the first blood against Headliner, and now some more aggression to come as Bushquail's going to have to deal with Skills here at the top of this escalator. Is pre-aiming the angle, though. Decides to turn away.
Oh, Bushquail gets stunned, naded, dealt with by 3 separate players. M-Fried's going to give this his best try. But he's completely in between the last 2 members, and TKOI will put themselves now on 4 total rounds. Again, they need to get to 6 in total, and they win the championship. So 3 rounds in total will get them to that point. 4 rounds the other way will get us to a map 4, which, like we mentioned before, would be checkmate.
TKOI now 4-2 up here in Search and Destroy. Remember, folks, if you're just joining us, the score was 3-2 to them before we went for the restart to get Skills back into the lobby. TKOI now going to be 4-2 up as a result of their last round win. And, well, they're going to butt heads straight away with NYNY in the mid-map here. Or maybe not. Might just pass like 2 ships in the night. Skills might not realize it just yet, but he's on the other side of this statue with M-Fried. Now TKOI actually going to move away towards B. M-Fried should see the... Oh, that right there. Okay, I was going to say, that is some bad Call of Duty timing if he doesn't spot it. He will spot it, and he'll call it out to his team that TKOI are getting this bomb down over towards B.
Yeah, and they are through the middle of the map here, but again, they're going to plant this bomb very quickly. Skills coming to the middle of the map, tagged up, no kills either way. You still have another player all the way up top as Yamamo. He's going to be in the police station watching that middle of the map. Skills has now moved over towards the outside. Good shots from Headliner, but he gets cut down from behind. And this is going to be a 5-2 most likely, as M-Fried is running out of time and also needs to find 3 kills.
Well, you never want to count anybody out, Shift, but it did kind of feel like M-Fried, his days were numbered there.
Yep.
And that's unfortunate, really. I feel like if you're M-Fried in that situation, and you never want to, you know, pin blame on anybody in particular, but if you're M-Fried in that situation and you see those players crossing, you kind of need to push it a little bit faster. Because you can prevent that plant, theoretically speaking. And that's not a play that TKOI, I think, would have expected out of a roster that's, realistically speaking, being a lot more passive than TKOI in this game. And now we find ourselves on championship point, folks. TKOI 5-2 up here in Search and Destroy Game 3 versus NYNY. Let's see if they can close it out here, Shift.
It's going to be an aggressive play right through this gold area in the apartments. Headliner's on the outside. He will find first blood, but immediately traded. Bushquail, can he respond to the pressure right in front of him on the window? He's nervous about it, has to back up. And nope, not going to be able to get fully away. So now it's just down to M-Fried for a 1v2.
Empride, if there is ever a time that your team needed to go off, it's absolutely now. They don't know where he is. That's the one positive. They have some kind of idea, but I think more to the point here, TKY are playing this together. Empride will spot out Yamamo, goes for these shots, gets it. Now, a 1 versus 1. Skills go through the ego challenge, wins the gunfight, and that is it, folks. The kings of it are going to be your US Agency Showdown champions. The kings of it, as you rightly point out, Shift.
Literally, the kings of it will become the kings of it.
A well-deserved championship for them. They played extremely well. They played with vigor and style as well in that last round. They are going to be your Agency Showdown 3 champions here in the US. Overall, you know, for them, you can see their bracket run here as the kings of it become your champions. Of course, they went through ATL Phoenix in round number 1, Farm Team in round 2, 789 in the semifinals, and then NYMY 3-0 in the grand finals. I don't believe they dropped a map on their journey to becoming champions either, so this is a pretty dominant performance from them.
Yeah, really good stuff. I mean, dominance is the only word that comes into mind for me, honestly. I mean, they smoked 789, 12-0 overall. They 3-0 the grand finals, only dropping a couple of rounds. I mean, that's about as good as you could ever ask for. So a massive congratulations. All 3 players showed up. Yamamo came out of nowhere today and blew us out of the water, making life a lot easier for Skills and So Cold and making life a lot harder for players like Headliner and Bushquail, who were the big storylines throughout. So, yeah, I mean, that's... I was not expecting us to be through the day with a full sweep through every single one of our series, but that's what we got.
Yeah, that's not even through today as well. I'm pretty sure that's through every day of action, I want to say. I don't think we even saw one game through. I think we might have seen 1 or 2, but that was about it. There was 2 zeros, 3 zeros throughout the entirety of our tournament, and TKOY are the team that comes out on top. And that means that Agency Showdown 3 in here in the US is done and dusted. We have our 3rd tournament in the books, but that will not be the last tournament. I believe that we do have more Agency Showdowns coming later on in the year. And of course, for all updates in regards to Activision Blizzard Media and these Agency Showdowns, you can make sure you follow Active Blizz Media on Twitter and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Ring the bell as well to be notified every time that we go live with the highlights as well. I believe we do highlights for these tournaments, and those videos are pretty cool. You get to hear mine and Alan's voices again, which is a highlight in on itself. So make sure you go follow the YouTube and the Twitter. But Alan, that's it. That's our third tournament here in the US done. Our 3rd tournament together for the Agency Showdown done. I really enjoyed casting with you. When do I not enjoy casting with you? I think is the better point.
Yeah, it was a fun time, man. Very quick. I'm not going to lie. It was very, very fast. Hard to be said whether EU had a better tournament or North America had a better tournament. We saw great teams on both sides. I won't lie. Bojo's Lasagna still, I think, had my overall favorite logo and team name combination. It would have been supplanted by Fire-Breathing Rubber Duckies, but they didn't make it to finals, so a little unfortunate overall for them.
Life is full of disappointments, and Fire-Breathing Rubber Duckies not getting their logo is absolutely my one, but it's not going to be disappointing for the kings of it. Congratulations once again to them. They are your US Agency Showdown 3 champions. But for myself and I hold shift, thank you to everyone for tuning in for this Agency Showdown. We'll see you when we see you.